Well, it looks like once again you all are tuned into the number one small business podcast. It is Michael with, oh, yeah, if y'all ain't watching on film, it's me again. So it's just y'all and me. Parker's out of town handling some business. So, for the second time in a few weeks, it's just me riding solo dolo. Hey, thank y'all for tuning into the Watch for the Hook Business and Entrepreneur Podcast. So we're gonna get on into it today, folks. So today I'm gonna talk about, you know, so when we didn't rebrand, but when we changed and went into a different direction business wise, we went into the real estate game, kind of made it a little difficult to, I guess, quote unquote, not market, being podcasters, but it kind of changed the realm that you may think you could go into as far as like to monetize. So yes, we get it. Everybody wants to live that monetization life. I don't know if all the content that we create will be based for monetization. And I mean, a lot of people just got to keep the book. A lot of us gonna do this labor of love and not get paid for it. And to me, it is what it is. But because, when you're an entrepreneur and you're creating content, but you're creating the content that's educational, informative. It's not sexy. You don't get all the hoopla. Like I say, listen, we ain't out here twerking, shaking, baking, causing a lot of drama, cussing each other out, throwing bottles and all that other type of stuff. As they said, we say the drama for somebody else's than their mama. So that's on them. But when you're out here creating content where you want to be inspirational, be positive, and uplift and try to direct people into a better limelight, hey, it's a slow burn, man. It's a real slow burn. It's not gonna be that, oh, look, you got 1 million views. That's it. Listen, that just doesn't happen like that. When you're doing what you feel that your passion is, and you're not, no disrespect, not create some fuck shit just to get attention to get views, then yes, it's gonna be a slow grind. Like a lot of things are made for dramatization. And if you're not one of those that's just trying to do whatever you got to do to go viral, then it's no burn for you. So, for those content creators, hey, stay steadfast, stay at it, just keep a positive light on it. For business owners who are kind of in that realm of where you might not be, let's say like marketing or being able to sell something. Okay, so yes, when we started this podcast, we were selling apparel, we were selling merch. We're not selling real estate. We're showing people how to get into the real estate game and how to, when you find what you're looking for, we try to find a way to go after your piece or pieces of real estate and try to get them up and running. And then, that's gonna be longer money. That's not, if you're flipping the house or doing things like that, then yes, you can do a project and turn around and flip it and get maybe 40, 50, 60K. But if you're having an investment property where average door will bring you in between 300 and 400 bucks a month profit. So let me say it again. Average investment per door will bring you in about $300 to $400 profit. So a lot of people are like, is that really worth my time? It's going to be supplemental income, but it's not going to be income that you can per se live off just one door. That's why you have to get multiple properties. That's why people are looking at multiple unit style properties, not just single family homes. They're looking at units of two, a duplex, two, triplex, three, quadplex, four, or more doors. So, for me and my wife, we were fortunate enough to be able to have my grandparents left in their legacy a 12-unit apartment complex. That's 12 doors. So if you get 12 doors up and running, then you can look at, oh, well, if you got 12 doors and the average profit, maybe once you got them all up and running, it's 300 to 400 bucks a month profit, then that kind of makes it worth the while. But you got to get there first, and it's a slow grind. And so when you're looking at that, it's just not a fly by night thing. Some people are lucky that, hey, we got these investment property and then, hey, well, we flipped it. So we made 35, 40K off that flip. And now we're on to the next. But then that next may not be for 5 to 6 months. So you made that 30K or 40K profit. That may have to last you until that next other flip. So when you're doing it like that on properties, now like I say, if you are somebody that's fortunate enough to have multiple doors, and then you can have two, three, four doors making you money per month to help supplement some of the income or to help pay for a kid to go to college or help, keep things running that you need done, then that's the investment. That's how things work like that. A lot of people don't even realize that the government has been letting private companies buy single family homes without letting actual single family applicants get these properties. That's how they've been mortgaging, basically leveraging the mortgage game out here for a while. And so people are like, man, I don't want to have no, I don't want to own no property. I don't even want to have that problem, those issues like maintenance and all that good stuff. I was sitting there talking to somebody today, Caucasian male, and he was talking about how, you know, him and his wife got almost 260 in equity in their property in the house. 260,000. That built-in equity are things that you can borrow against to help you do other things in life. Like if you need to pay for a kid to go to college, or if you need a small loan to get a vehicle, you could get that out of a second mortgage from your home. So I mean, there's leverage in things of being a homeowner. There's leverage in like being a business owner if you can have that where it makes your money. Those are the things that, those are part of the American dream that they don't want you to have. Straight up don't want you to learn it. That's why they don't teach our financial literacy in school. It's funny. I graduated back in 98. I took accounting one and accounting two, checks and balances, credits and debits. Back then, they were telling you how to manage your books, just your personal checkbook. Like, if people don't even realize, I can't know how money moves if I cannot add and subtract or multiply and divide. These are the tools that you would need to understand finances. We got people right now, as we turn around, we have grown men telling regular people, yeah, I made 50 million in my career, but that ain't really no money. Let me sit this. When the last time 50 million wasn't some money? No, 50 million isn't money if you are not financially responsible. And then when you hear people say, well, I got to take care of so and so, I had to do this, I had to do it. No, you really don't. What happens is the African American community, we paint the haves into a corner to help the have nots. Now, I'm not saying don't help nobody. I'm also not saying don't go fucking broke. Because this is the thing. If you the quote unquote breadwinner or you the one that made it and you back in the hood with the rest of them, what did you really make it for? What are we doing? How did we get here? We can't still turn around, even like the record business. People still getting bad deals. We've been talking about bad deals, financial literacy for 50, 60 years. But also, let's stay right there. We've only been at this point where African Americans have been in corporate America, understand the value of money for the last 50, 60 years. So how have we learned how to maintain money? We have not in certain instances. Haven't learned how to maintain money. We want to talk about, man, I want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. Wealthy people don't spend their money. I'm glad I'm starting to see a lot of these other athletes talking about, well, I lived off this portion of my check and I put this other stuff away. Listen, I remember when I was in Las Vegas, it was 2015, and I was talking to this guy and he was pretty well off and he was a white guy. He was talking about, the dumbest thing people do is go buy expensive vehicles. They ain't worth shit as soon as you take them off the lot. A man said, I live in a probably $1 million house and I drive a old ass beat up Honda Accord. And he was like, why am I gonna ride around in something to try to impress somebody else? They don't give a shit about me. So why do I give a shit about impressing them? But that is what we've been built up in certain culture of this era is that, flash, pump and circumstance, man, look what I got. Big timers, big baller shot callers. But then when you ain't got enough to call a shot, where the people at? Where your fanfare at? They gone. Ain't nobody need. That's just like when you're in the mix of trying to figure out what do you want to do financial wise. When you have to make hard decisions, a lot of people ain't gonna be around you. They gonna be around you when you popping bottles and in the club and flossing and all of that stuff. But ain't nobody gonna be sitting there at the table with you when you gotta decide to pull back. It's just not gonna be that. And so when you're sitting up there trying to figure out what do you want to do with money or how to create or get money, you got to figure out what you want to do and stand for it. I get it. We're gonna be out there and everybody's gonna be trying to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. And a lot of shit is gonna stick, but will it stick around? That's the big part. You need money that's gonna be able to stick around. You want to be able to, like I say, this is the long game for us. Yes, people want to have money and abundance and things, but then with that stuff comes consequences, comes a price, comes a toll. And it's one thing as I learned in the Marvel movies that I tell my wife all the time. One day the bill will come due. Bill will always come due for whatever you're trying to do. Whether you make it big or make it small or make it or not, you still gonna have that bill that comes due. And what are you gonna be trying to do when it does come due? Or have you been that person that's been a financial steward? I ain't saying penny pinch, but I'm saying understand money. You know, People think that, oh, I invested in the stock market, that's gonna hit. Stuff takes time. Like the stock market is not a get rich quick scheme unless you got insider trading, like some people that are in the presidency that has made thousands upon thousands of trades, with insider trading and made a couple of billion. But the average person isn't available to understand or know what those insider loopholes are. That's how they keep you where you are and they stay where they are. Because you can invest your money. I mean, you can do research on stocks and all that stuff. It'll take time. It will take time. You won't be able to know, hey, man, this stock finna fall 100,000%. You catch it right now with the low when it hit low and just hang on to it. You're going to make your money back in no time. You won't know that unless you got an inside track. But when you're sitting around and you're thinking about, you know, how you're gonna try to, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, how to make money, or if you're just somebody that wants to help have their money make more money for them, you got to understand finance. Gotta you gotta start looking to become the financial literate person. So that starts by reading books, understanding, and gaining knowledge. Listen, the mistakes that we've made have come on the fly. But now because of those mistakes, because of those lessons we learned, we know how to not make those going forward or how we can try to prevent some of the issues from happening that happened to us. We tell that to y'all all the time. Here are some of the issues we've had. Here's what you learn from. It's free game. It's free game. Like I said, we just looking for to help one business owner, help one person that think they want to become a business owner, or just help somebody who's just trying to understand how to financially use their money to help them better. Like I say, I am not a financial any type of expert or anything like that. But we want you all to understand that you need to start learning how to use finances, how to use money to make money. Because they used to say scared money don't make no money. Also, if you don't have any money to put away to try to find to help you make more money, you ain't never gonna make money. And some people might be like, man, I ain't trying to make shit. I'm just trying to live. That's fine too. But when you get to that point where you're looking to improve, understand your financial status, improve your financial status, then you're gonna want to start looking into it. Start investing yourself. Start with a place of learning and understanding. Once you do that, it'll all get better. Hey, we'll catch y'all next time.